you know. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Why my forehead feels especially large tonight? Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Hold on. Hey, y'all. Hey, come on in the room. Listen, my husband likes to go live while I'm trying to share the show. And then when I look up, y'all here. It's like, have you all ever seen those commercials where somebody gets in the car and they start having a conversation and then you turn around and you see other people in your car and you be like, oh my God, I didn't know it was people here, right? Or like when the man in the commercial goes outside in his underpants and he thought it was a Zoom and his wife said, no, the people are really here. That's what happens with us.
Those are completely two different things.
They're not. What happens is you be like, we finna go live in a few minutes, and then I'm looking at my phone doing something, and then I look up and we here. But anyway, hello everybody, come on into the room. It's Antonio and Ascenta Gholston, and this is Conversation with the Gholstons. Real, uncut, unfiltered conversation. Listen, tonight we have a really, really good topic. We'll probably laugh a little bit tonight. Hopefully nobody will cry, and prayerfully everyone will remain married. Listen, I'm not trying to do anything to people, but keep them happy and keep them married. So you gonna throw me out there like it's my subject tonight? So what do you mean? You said it was a good topic.
I did.
There's some topics you don't like to discuss, but this one you said you were okay with.
I was okay with it.
Okay. All right, guys. Listen, y'all come on in the room. When you come into the room, let us know where you are watching from and what you had for dinner. Y'all know it's always about food for me. Where you watching from and what did you have for dinner? Make sure that you invite, like, and share. If you can type us, we want to just make sure that you can hear us. If you can type us, if you can hear us, type in hashtag the Ghostins, hashtag the Ghostins. We want to check our sound tonight. Make sure that we are clear. Everybody is with us, babe. Did you share to our YouTube?
We should be checking our sound before we get on here, though.
Okay. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're watching the replay, hashtag the Ghostins, hashtag CWCW. What's happening tonight? Hashtag CWTG, hashtag CWTG, hashtag the Ghostins if you are watching the replay. All right, I'm going to throw it over to you so I can go ahead and share.
That's not what we do. What am I going to say?
I don't know. What are you going to say?
Oh,
I see you guys coming into the room. Make sure you speak. Listen, get yourselves unfiltered. Hey, family. Good evening. Good evening. What is happening? Like, let me just take a minute. Hey, Carla Shepherd, all the way from Lansing, Michigan. Oh, come on, Chipotle. Oh, wait. You had Chipotle and Popeyes. Now, I don't know if I've ever had that combination, but I will do a good Chipotle bowl in a minute. Popeyes, we trying to figure out if we gonna still go to Popeyes because I think we done. We just gonna have to figure out the secret recipe. We had fried chicken, breast, and cheese. I'm so serious tonight. I have no idea what's going on. I said we had fried chicken, breast, and cheese. That says we had fried chicken breast, mac and cheese, and corn and cornbread. Y'all, I didn't get enough. I did not get a real nap after church today. I think it's messing with me. He took a nap today. I'm so happy for you because normally you don't get to take a nap. Yeah. Listen, if you are dating, married, in a relationship, and your boo is next to you or near you, go get them because this is a great conversation to have. If you are married, this is really the conversation for you tonight. If you are planning on getting married, you want to come into the room because this question and this conversation is going to really, really pull out some things, right? It's definitely a conversation for you if you're not married. This is probably good for the single folk.
That was a good part for everybody.
Okay, come on in. All right, y'all.
Okay. What? I'm trying.
Okay. All right, y'all. Come on in the room. He being real funny acting tonight. If y'all see him acting funny, just let me know. Why am I on your page?
I don't know what you are. Look.
Let me go to my own page. You can't do that. Oh. Okay, you move out of the frame. Go that way. I was like, hey, oh Lord, I'm muted. Oh Lord. Why you bring it's a
What are you doing?
y'all, tonight is a different kind of night. I don't know what's happening. All right, y'all. Come on, babe. Let's get into the conversation.
People about to disappear on us.
They're not gonna disappear. They know that these are shenanigans that happens when you come into the room. I don't know why these things happen. Okay,
What are you doing?
I'm trying to go to my page.
For what?
So that I can jump into the room.
Why would you go to the room from your page?
Because then I can see the people who are commenting on my page.
But we're not shared to your page.
I did share it to my page. Hey, Shar. Hey, Yolanda. What you have? She had Olive Garden shrimp Alfredo. She's in North Carolina.
We ain't done nothing yet.
Let's
go.
You
want to reset and just start over, come back again?
Hey, everybody. No. Hey, everybody. It is Conversation with the Gholstons. You are watching Antonio and Ascenta Gholston, where we have real, uncut, unfiltered conversation. Listen, when pre-production goes wrong, we ain't had no pre-production today.
We didn't.
We did not have pre-production. I was looking at Sparkle.
And y'all probably already know why I feel the way I feel.
Good evening, Joseph. I don't know why you feel the way that you feel, because I asked you multiple times if you wanted me to come over and you were like, no. So, you know what?
Once.
However many. It was more than once.
Once.
At least
once.
Twice. Anyway, y'all.
I did fix me some tea.
I fixed you some tea. At 7:50, I said, you want some tea?
Let's go.
I turned it over to you.
To do what? It's your show.
It's been my show every week.
It's because you've been coming with the topics every week.
Y'all, this is why the question is what it is tonight.
It's your topic.
The question tonight is as follows. What's the question?
It's your topic. I don't know.
The question is.
Look at your phone. You don't want to send it to me.
Let me go find my question.
Oh, shit.
Is there something you wish you knew about marriage before you took the plunge?
All right.
That's the question.
Start this show.
That's the question.
Complete.
No, we're not starting over.
We're hitting the reset button.
No, we're not.
Yes, we are.
No, this is us.
We're hitting the reset button.
This is us. This is what we do.
And we're live.
Hey, everybody. It is Conversation with the Gholstons, and we are your hosts, Antonio and Ascenta Gholston. Listen, if you are coming into the room with us today for the first time, say first timer in the comments. Let us know that you are here. It is your first time watching. To all of our other family and friends, come on in. If you can hear us, hashtag the Gholstons in the comments, hashtag the Gholstons. We want to make sure that we are crystal clear for you all on tonight. Listen, we have a great show for you. Go ahead and type in the comments where you're from, where you're watching from, and what you had for dinner tonight. Listen, hashtag the Gholstons if you are watching the replay, or hashtag CWTG. Make sure that you subscribe, like, and share this video with your family and friends. We want them to come on in and hear this conversation as well. Listen, we have a good show for you guys tonight. I am so excited to have this conversation. And if you are with your boo thing, bring them on into the room, okay? This is going to be a conversation for everybody. Everybody. Okay? Come on into the room. All right. Everything turns into a song. All right. Can you scoot over just a smidge, my love? Just because you're real comfortable.
I am.
I know. Okay, thank you. All right,
then. Pray God for us.
Pray God for us. See, this is why we had to reset. Y'all pray God for us. See, I don't even know. I don't know if it's what we ate tonight. I feel like was it something in it. Man. All right, Northport, Florida is in the house. She has scalloped potatoes for dinner. That's it, just the potatoes. Sure, yeah, was it some meat? You know, this is the problem with me.
Why is you talking about food?
This is the problem with me. Is I don't ever feel like I can just eat one thing. I feel like I gotta have a meat and a side, two sides. I think that we got messed up like that in life.
Go to McDonald's, that's one small fry, and then it comes to a double cheeseburger
and a medium fry.
Then it goes to
and then you gotta have a drink. I've done much better though.
No,
I haven't.
No.
All right, then. Listen, it's a good show tonight. This is the topic for discussion on this evening. I want you all to start typing in your answers. Is there something you wish you knew about marriage before you took the plunge? Is there something you wish you knew about marriage before you took the plunge? Now, listen, let me make sure I'm real clear about this. I didn't say, is there something you wish you knew about your spouse? Okay. I'm trying to keep everybody.
Bring that.
I'm trying to make sure that everybody
bring that home a little bit. Like define it specifically.
Right. Marriage as a whole, that you have to sacrifice. It's going to be compromise versus I wish I would have knew that he'd throw his clothes on the floor.
That's specific.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Things like that. I mean, I grant you, it's probably going to turn into that. Okay.
I'm trying. I'm not.
We trying not to.
I'm not.
Oh, okay. Gotcha, Shar. Okay, well, enjoy your scallop potatoes. And we are praying for your complete and total healing. Who said dinner was incomplete tonight? Hey, fam. What's up? What's up? Y'all come on in the room. All right, go ahead and start typing in your answers. Is there something you wish you knew about marriage before you took the plunge? And if you are unmarried, Shar said, don't go there. I'm just saying it. And if you're not married, is there something that you want to know about marriage before you take the plunge?
I have another question.
Okay, go ahead.
With that.
Okay, go ahead.
What's the number one thing? No, keep going. I'd say that for later. Go ahead.
Okay, I thought you was gonna finish that statement.
I that changed my. Go ahead.
You need to think about it more.
Nope.
You're not gonna say it.
I'm just gonna say it later.
Oh, okay. All right. See, that he was about to probably say something about me. Tori said, I'm glad you clarified because I was about to go into why I'm happily divorced.
See, that's why I said no. No, because
we don't want, listen, this is the thing, is that if it sparks a conversation, okay, if it sparks a conversation for you to say, listen, and even for people who may be divorced, right? What were some things that maybe some expectations you possibly had about marriage when you got married?
There we go.
Right? You may have had some expectations about marriage before you got married, and then you were like, wait a minute, I wish I would have known that wasn't true, or what have you. Okay, so let's.
Why don't you kick it off? What since your topic, that's how we do it. If it's your topic, kind of leave. Are you okay? You hear me okay?
I can't hear you.
You can't hear me now?
You're not in my ears at all.
I'm not.
No.
Okay, hold on a second. Oh, that's because I'm muted.
Oh, there you go.
What about now?
I can hear him.
Okay, sorry, y'all.
He was good and muted.
All right, so here we go. So why don't you kick it off? Since we're talking about this, why don't you kick it off? And what's your thing? You wish you knew about marriage before we got? Yeah, come on, let's go. We just listen.
What is one thing I wish I knew about marriage before I took the plunge? I don't know. Skip me. Come back to me, doc. Come back to me, teacher.
All right. I'm gonna throw one out there.
Throw it out there.
One thing I wish I knew about marriage before we got married is that the person I was dating was gonna change.
Let me write this down. Oh Lord, see. What? I changed?
I didn't say about you.
I'm the only person that you married to.
But you said you wish you knew. I mean, I can't explain that.
No, you cannot explain that away. Because I'm like, you've been married before. You dated somebody else and then got married to them and then got unmarried to them. And then you married me. Well, like, what happened?
Let me talk about.
Like, I'm not understanding.
The people who've counseled in marriage or something.
Forget it.
The people.
Listen.
What is something you knew? What is something you knew?
So let me go ahead and take this off the table then. What is something that you wish you knew about marriage or your spouse before you got married? No.
You can't tell me like Tori like that because Tori like that, she gonna go in.
Nope. Tori said that being unequally yoked is not cute.
Yes, that's good.
Okay, that's a good one. That's a good one because, hey, Tanya Russell Dickens, how are you? That's a good one, right? That not being, but see, the thing about it is that.
Let me clarify my statement. I'm not trying to justify.
It's okay, babe.
Hear me.
I don't mind changing. I believe that change is inevitable.
You're very clear about that.
I'm very clear.
But let me for those watching, let me give a little more context to that.
Okay, go ahead.
I think everybody can. I still feel hollow. Put your mic up, son.
You may be a little hollow, babe.
Yeah, and that's bothering me just a little.
Okay, it's okay. It's all right, sweetie.
All right, I'm sorry, guys.
You're welcome. Thanks for coming into the show.
So listen, here's the deal. So now, and honestly, let me unpack my statement just a little bit.
Okay.
Because I think it's relevant.
Mm-hmm.
When you're dating,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that you always get your authentic, true person.
Oh.
So what I wish I knew about marriage
Okay.
prior to marriage
Mm-hmm.
is that the person that I'm with, that I was dating, was not necessarily remain the same.
That's good. That's good. Let me tell
Now,
you guys already now.
I can give you some very specific things.
You ain't got to. The person that you are currently dating, if you are dating,
Okay.
and even the person that you are currently married to, expect change.
Yep.
You want to know why? Because depending on when you got married in your life, there may be life things that happen, and they're going to happen, right?
You always say that.
Life things are going to happen, and they're going to change your outlook on life. They're going to change your thought process. Sometimes they're going to shift the way that you thought things should be. Okay. Sometimes you just get different insight and new revelation, and sometimes it's just sheer good old maturity that happens. Let me go back up. Which one?
Buster. Whatever.
Buster said that his wife did not like air conditioning. You wish you knew your wife didn't like air conditioning.
Good old wholesome.
Listen,
they did it the right way. But because he didn't know about
he ain't know that they weren't shacking and whacking.
She was shacking and whacking.
Because if you shacking, you whacking. All right, here we go. Listen. Hey, y'all can
different show.
Anyway, marriage is not 50-50. Both parties need to bring 100, and the percentage of give and receive changes often. Very true.
Let's talk about it.
That's a good one.
Because
people
always say 50-50, right?
You know what I do? You know what boils my butt is when people say stuff. Is when people say stuff like this. I'm a half, because this was real big back in the day, and we thought it was cute, but it wasn't. I'm a half, you a half, and we come together to make a whole. And this is why folk was out here being half people. And stuff wasn't going on because you coming in half done.
That wasn't the case.
When I realized that I am complete and him lacking nothing. The work is finished. I am 100%. I don't need another person to complete me. That is Christ's job. I am complete in him. And so I don't know where we got this, my other half. Like something is wrong with me. And I think that sent a lot of people off because people started coming into relationships looking for somebody else to finish them, to complete them, to add to them all the things that they didn't have. And then when that person wasn't able to give it to you, you up in divorce court or you in counseling. I'm not saying counseling's wrong because we've been in counseling, but I'm saying like you're going through these extra things that you needed not to go through if you just would have come into the relationship understanding that you were whole. Now, I'm not saying you were perfect. I'm not saying that there were not things that you didn't go through in life that may have, broken you in some places, but to look for another person to be the whole and the fix to that, I think that we sent a lot of folk off with that.
Do you think that, you talking about you specifically that coming to marriage with me, do you feel like that was the case coming in? Like you were bringing half to the table. Now when you marry me, it's going to bring the other half.
No, because I didn't buy into that foolery.
Oh, you didn't buy into the foolery. Okay.
I was like, why I got to be half? Like, why can't I be whole and he be whole and we come together? It's enough that we coming together, living different lives, different mindsets. That's enough. I don't need to come in half. We got enough to work through.
So I got a question while we're doing it. I'm just throwing it out there. We don't have to focus on it right this second, but I just want to throw it out there. This is not to marry folk. This statement is not to marry folk. It's a spinoff to her question. It's not to marry folk. It is to single people desiring to be married or engaged. What is the one thing that is slightly different, but if it never changed in marriage, if it never changed in marriage,
is it a deal breaker?
Is it a deal breaker? That one thing, if you sat down, lay all the cards on the table, no host bar, this person says, I am not going to pick up my drawers off the floor. I'm going to throw them.
I'm going to throw them on the floor because I just don't care.
I'm going to get out this. I'm going to take my drawers off. Wherever I find, drop them at, I'm going to leave them there. And I'm not picking them up until the end of the week.
Right.
I don't care what you say, what you do. I'm not changing that.
Right. Is that a deal breaker?
Is that a deal breaker?
Yeah. No.
And that could be the woman.
Clearly,
don't
for
have to necessarily be the man.
absolutely, because all women ain't.
So to think that question, I will not entertain that question from any married person, because you married now. You ain't going
it's too late.
nowhere.
Pick up them draws.
Pick up them draws and keep it moving.
Keep on going.
You ain't.
Just grab them and go and just drop them where they need to go.
Every time you see the drawers on the floor, you just declare that them drawers, next time he drop them, going to drop them in the clothes basket.
Okay, just speak it. Right.
All
right.
So,
okay, that's a great question. So Justin said he wished he knew how important communication was before marriage. Yeah, communication is key.
That answers your question
specifically. That's a great answer.
So much in life.
Communication is key to life, not just marriage. This is why I feel like, and this is a sidebar, but I think this is why it's so important for us to teach our children how to advocate for themselves, because these are children who are going to grow into adults, who are going to date and be married, and then they don't know how to talk to their spouses or to other people or at work or wherever. And so then they get into marriage and you don't know how to advocate for yourself because you never learned how to communicate. Now, I talk to my child like she's a person, right? Now, I may there's some things as a child that she be like, because she don't see the life or the world the way that we see it. So there are some things that I have to talk to her about in a different way. However, I'm like, advocate for yourself. You didn't like it, talk about it, speak to that person. And I think that it's important for us to teach our children that. But communication is key, and it's something that you just listen, even if you are the quiet spouse, like even if you're just a naturally quiet person, because everybody is not extroverted, everybody is not the communicator. Sometimes that's just not people's natural behavior style. But what you have to understand and learn is that sometimes you have to adapt out of your natural style for the situation and for the moment. You have to be able to have conversations. So I think that that's key. Communication is key. What are your thoughts about that?
I'm gonna dig into communication a little bit later. I got a point I made.
Oh, you got a sermon?
Yeah, I got some topics.
Okay, because you're gonna dig in later. Okay, Bishop.
Well, I mean, somebody got prepared for the show, so we have to. That's a joke, babe. It's a joke.
You always say there's a little bit of truth in every joke.
A little bit, just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Let me turn my bracelet around, because just in case anybody needs this, I may have one or two more available.
Comment number
one. This is number one. I may have a snap bracelet.
Thank you, Josetta, for sharing tonight. We'll say thank you for sharing. Let's reset the room.
It's a snap bracelet, and it's a beautiful heart. These are white. Okay, I may have a few more of these available if it's $5, nickel and lead free. Anyway, guys, listen.
Let's reset the room.
Hey, everybody that's coming into the room. It is Conversation with the Gholstons. My name is Ascenta. This is my husband, Antonio. We are your hosts for the show. Thank you all so much for coming in for real, uncut, unfiltered conversation with the Gholstons. Tonight's topic is there something you wish you knew about marriage before you took the plunge? Is there something you wish you knew about marriage before you took the plunge? And it's really interesting, like, to hear things like communication, because the truth of the matter is, think like somebody else will be like, well, duh, like, of course you got to communicate. But there are people who get married and really don't know what to expect in marriages. And I'm not saying that that's the case for you guys, but I'm saying that there are people who did not see examples of healthy marriage, or didn't live in a household with two parents, whether you saw a good, bad marriage, any marriage, right? So everybody doesn't know what to expect going into a marriage. And so I think that it's really, really, really interesting to see sometimes some of the things that people say, because you're like, wow, like I grew up with both of my parents. My parents were married until my dad passed away, and so that was my dad has been passed. So it was like 30 something years. So all my life I saw marriage. That's what I saw. And they didn't have a perfect marriage, but there were some things that I saw that made me say, okay, that's normal. I remember when we had our first kind of like argument.
Who?
Me and you.
Okay.
And I remember you being like, this has ruined my whole day. And I was like, it was an argument. Like, you argue and you get over it. Like,
he still had an issue.
He still has, like, arguing.
I'm better.
He's better, but like arguing for him was like What's wrong with us? This is not okay. And I remember looking at him like, you do know that people argue and that you get over it and it's okay. And it was really hard for him. But I grew up and my parents argued. I mean, it wasn't
How
like,
dare you walk away from an argument? We gotta finish this.
we gotta finish this thing out. I was like, listen, let's just take a break. Okay, let's take a break. All right, let's keep going through because this is conversation today. So I like what you guys are saying. I thought you could always say what you really think, not if you want to stay married long term. Oh man, as the wife, I am the peacekeeper. Listen,
Yeah.
so
What's that scripture?
Shar said, Shar, what's that scripture? Shar said, I thought you could always say what you really think. Now, I think that that's going to vary per person because I really do say
spouses don't care what you say.
I am very different. I say what I think.
Yeah, God working with you on that though.
I do sometimes. Let me not say sometimes. Many times I do think about it first.
When?
I do think about it. I don't just blurt out everything that I think. You think I blurt out everything I think?
No, you don't.
I don't blurt out everything I think. But I do. Now, I will say this. Yes, be the peacekeeper. But I also believe in transparency and truth. And I think that sometimes for the sake of peace, we hold in too much stuff. But some people bottle it in, hold it in, and don't say it when it needs to be said.
But is it always the right time to say it?
Now, timing is a different thing. When you say it, what is the climate in which you're having this conversation? That matters because it doesn't always need to be said immediately, which is why I said I do stop and think about what I'm going to say before I just blurt it out. But for the most part, I am going to say pretty much what I'm thinking, unless the Holy Spirit be like, shut it up. Okay. But I'm gonna go back to this comment.
55 scriptures on the tongue.
Buster said that his time does not belong to him. Listen, I don't know. Listen, we don't. Our time is really kind of different.
What do you mean?
Our schedules are so different. I don't know. I don't know. Time has not been an issue.
Hold on, this thing on the tongue just kind of got me.
Oh Lord.
No, why gotta be oh Lord? Oh Lord in the word? I'm just because I never thought about this. I never thought about this from the marriage standpoint. In Proverbs 18:21, it talks about death and life are in the power of the tongue.
Absolutely.
And with those who love it will eat its fruit. Death and life are in the power of the marriage. Death and life are in the power of the tongue. And you can really relate that to marriage. Because what you speak in your marriage and what you speak to your spouse can bring life.
Or
and
death.
It can bring
Absolutely.
Death.
Absolutely.
I never really looked at it from that standpoint. I just, it's a cute scripture.
Death and life. But a lot of people are
thinking is real.
I think that sometimes people are thinking certain things. But I was reading a devotional. And in the devotional, it talked about being able to even speak death to crops that have been produced out of sin in your life. Like we have the power because of the grace of God and forgiveness and repentance to speak death to those crops, right? So you have to understand that even if there are things in your marriage that you have spoken over your marriage, whether you were in anger, which is sin, whether you were, whatever was going on in your life, in your marriage, and you spoke death over it, you can speak death to the crop that was produced out of that seed that was sown. So don't feel like it's just one-sided. Listen, God is giving you the power of life and death. I speak death to every crop that is produced out of sin, out of anger, out of whatever. And I speak peace and life and restoration in those situations. Begin to speak those things. What you say? Go ahead, Bishop.
This thing, Psalms 39:1 says, it says, I said, this is David talking. I said, I will take heed to my ways, that I sin not with my tongue. I will keep my mouth with a bridle while the wicked is before me.
Listen. While the wicked is before you,
that you may claim to be the wicked,
the wicked one, you be like
the wicked one.
Bridle your tongue. Woo! All right, y'all just go find scriptures on the tongue.
Communication, and again, stick with us. I'm gonna hit the communication thing in just a minute. We'll get through the comments, but that communication, I think, is is very key.
Yeah, it is.
All right, go ahead. Comments?
Compromising is needed. Compromising is daily. If you thought you was gonna get in there and you was gonna always
it's so needed. Yep.
Yeah, if you thought you were just gonna get married and just do whatever you wanted to do whenever you wanted to do it without considering the other person,
let's sit there for a minute.
You compromise. You have to consider the other person, and that it doesn't always feel good, especially when you just want to do what you want to do. And it's not that what you want to do is bad, but you do have to compromise and consider another person.
So you can sit there for a minute with that because you feel like you felt, or I don't want to put words in your mouth, but you talked about early in our marriage when we went through a very difficult time, even to the time when we were separated. We got separated, and all those things. You felt like you was in a box. You felt like you were lost in
a box. I felt like I was trapped.
What I'm referring to in this particular situation is compromise. Like there were things that you wanted to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
That you never communicated to me.
But
I want to put words in your mouth.
No.
I want you to talk to that a little bit.
So during that season, I just felt like what he was. So it started off him asking me for something or not to do something. And I just felt like, how can you ask me not to do this because I want to do it, right? And then what happens out of that, it kind of spun. Hey, little girl.
I'm like, what's all that background? That's the man talking.
Okay. So it kind of spun into, well, I couldn't do this and I couldn't do this. And you tried to hold me hostage to this and you was controlling me in this. And then I had to have a revelation that my husband was not being controlling. But what happened instead is I came into marriage with a certain mindset about what a wife was supposed to be. And then I put myself in a box. And then when I got tired of pretending that this is who I was as a wife, not that it was bad, but I was like, I'm tired. I can't keep being this person. This is not who I am. I had to be the wife that I was going to be, but I was trying to be a different kind of wife. And I felt controlled, but it wasn't that. It was me being, putting myself in a box. And I think that we just really had to have a conversation about what are some boundaries, compromising on boundaries. How far does this go? What does this really look like? So forth and so on. Is that what you're speaking to?
Well, I am, but just to go a little bit, that's great comment. Just go a little bit deeper with that. Is that a lot of times, I know we've talked to couples, we've dealt with it, where it's like compromise is like just not compromise means like I'll just do whatever you want me to do. Like to me, it's like for sake of happiness, and I'm guilty of this. I am really guilty of in the past, I'm guilty of, okay, I just don't feel like fighting. I don't feel like arguing. I don't feel like, you walking around the house because I said no to going to, I don't know why I thought about this, McDonald's. But you go into the restaurant or go and do something. I'm like, no, we're not in a position to do that now at this time. And now I don't want you to be upset for the next 2 weeks or a cold house or a cold bedroom.
Right.
Not that you ever did that.
Right.
But I'm just saying that's what typically tends to happen in a lot of marriages. Like I'd rather not deal with the consequences.
You were for a very long time the yes man. And you got frustrated with being the yes man.
I did.
And you just started to tell me no. And then I had to make the adjustment.
You can thank your best friend for that one.
Thank you, best friend.
She's like,
just tell her no.
You better tell her but no, and she will be okay.
Right. And I am. Right. I'm okay.
Yeah, it was bad.
And I am okay.
I worked myself. But, it was stressful.
But it was frustrating him, and I didn't know because he felt like that was compromise. I didn't know you was frustrated because you was just.
How did you not know that?
Because I was happy with the yes. I wasn't paying attention to what else was going on with you.
I'm done.
You said yes. I was like, thank you. And I was off. Okay. All right. We are evolving. That is why the person that you dated is not the person you married. Right. So I know what you're saying. So he was saying earlier that the person that one of the things he wished he knew about marriage was that the person that you dated is not necessarily the person that you marry, or that they don't stay the same person. And we talked about change. Change is inevitable. The person that you dated is going to change. And change, listen, guys, change is not bad. It does not mean that it is a bad thing, but there is maturity and growth that happens in people. And it just so happens that people are sometimes married, and so it happens in the marriage. Nicole said this, Nicole Bam, that whole half and half is not cute. Listen, we talked about that earlier, before you came into the show, that 50-50, Like you half a person, I'm half a person, and we coming together to complete each other. Child, no. So he is not your partner. What are you saying, Patricia, if you're still here? Antonio definitely is my partner. He is my partner. She said, so he is not your partner. That was earlier in the show. So I was just trying to see what she was saying. He definitely is my partner. He's just not half. He's not half of a person. And I'm not half of a person. And then we come together and make a whole. He is my partner, but that's not half of me. He is a whole person. And I think that sometimes we say that like my other half, but you're not a half of me. We are both whole. We are complete. So I just don't buy, because I feel like we lessen a person, or we lessen the strength of who that person is when we talk about your half. Like my partner should not be, I don't want a half a person. You know, so partnership does not mean that we're half and half. Because if you look at business, partnership, everybody responsible for the same stuff. If something go down, each person is responsible equally for what happens. Am I right? When it comes to business, partnership, everybody is responsible for what happens.
So we're talking about today, guys. Is there something you wish you knew about marriage before you took the plunge? And that conversation was original. You never told me where it came from, though. Where did this topic come from? Usually a topic comes from something that happens with us or happens
I may have seen it or heard it, and I was like, that's a great conversation.
So is there something you wish you knew about marriage before you took the plunge? We asking people who are already currently married.
Yeah.
If there's something you know, so type in the comments. If you want to probably text us something because you don't want everybody to know your business. You guys got my number, you got her number. You can text us, let us know. But the other thing, look at you getting good with the comms. You need to get through the comments because you gotta.
I'm just making sure.
Okay, so the other thing is, if you are, this is a question to all the single people and those who want to be married. All the single people and those who want to be married. My question to you is, what's the one deal breaker? If they never change, and I talked about earlier, if the spouse never picked up his drawers off the floor, that's his thing. Come on home, she come home, drop their stuff on the floor, they never pick it up. They never change that? Is that a deal breaker to say I cannot marry this person because they don't do X? What is that? Let's have some real conversation about that. What is that X for you that is a deal breaker?
To our unmarried people, what is a deal breaker?
Not no married folks. You don't get to answer that question because you're married. That's it. Pray for them.
Yeah, absolutely, Shar. Don't say it in anger. I don't. I try not to. I try not to, but sometimes my tone is still not as sweet as it could be. Okay. Carla Shepherd said, I think most of the time it's how a person says something and not necessarily what they said. Absolutely. Right. And timing. All right. And so Anthea said, if death and life are in the power of the tongue, and the man's body not his own, but wife's, and likewise the woman's body belongs to man, that includes the tongue. We need to be sure that we speak only that which we want to harvest from our spouse. That's good. Really, really good. Somebody said, just kick the drawers across the room and keep it moving. So listen, guys.
But for some people, that's a deal breaker.
Yeah. So what is a deal breaker? What is a deal breaker? We had that conversation before we got married, didn't we, about deal breakers? If I did not cook, that would have been a deal breaker.
No, because I probably wouldn't have got married then.
I just said, if I did not cook, that would have been a deal breaker.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. If you ain't drive a Cadillac, that would have been a deal breaker. I'm just playing.
You ain't lying, bro. Because I had two of them. You ain't lying. That's why you acting talking a Cadillac. I'm gonna go buy me a Cadillac.
Please don't.
I'm going to buy me a Cadillac.
I'm over the Cadillacs. Okay.
No, I want to go back to Escalade. You know I want Escalade. Yeah. Just to
boy, don't get no Escalade.
Wow.
You gonna pop out here and have another baby?
Baby, if you have another baby, it's everybody in this live gonna be rich. Everybody.
Okay. All right, guys, listen. Let's reset the room. Hey, everybody, come on into the room. It is Conversation with the Gholstons. This is Antonio and Asenta. We are your hosts for the evening and every evening. But we are your hosts for the evening. Today's conversation is always uncut, unfiltered, just real conversation. Tonight's topic is there something you wish you knew about marriage before you took the plunge? Is there something you wish you knew about marriage before you took the plunge? If you are single, is there something that is a deal breaker for you? You are not married, either whether you're dating, getting married, whatever the case may be, but you have not signed them papers yet. Is there a deal breaker for you? So you guys talk back to us. Let us know what's going on with you. I think that for
so you only gave one thing to shoot.
You know what?
You knew.
You know what? I will say this. I don't think that there is really much, being real honest, that
Okay.
I have been surprised at with marriage.
Okay.
I don't.
Okay.
I don't think it's much that I've been surprised at. And I will attribute that to, number one, my parents.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, that I did see other marriages around me.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that there were just things that I unconsciously drew in by what I saw. And so getting married, there were some things that I don't think that I came into marriage like, I'm going to say this. I think that one of the things that I wish I knew was that when people tell you that you're marrying them and not their family, that was not the truth.
What do you mean?
I wish I knew that was a false statement. Because when you marry your husband or your wife or your wife, you are marrying their family. You cannot separate the two.
That's good.
You can't separate the two. And we can say that all day long, like, baby, it's just me and you, but that ain't even cute. That's unhealthy. Like okay, that's a whole nother show. Okay,
that's a different show. All right,
whole nother show.
But don't touch your comments yet.
Okay,
because if you see them, then
I'm gonna read them.
You'll start going. So let me answer this. Here's one for me, and I did a little research. I'm gonna read off some things that a few surveys talked about things that people they wish they knew before they got married.
Okay, good.
But so some good stuff.
That's
here.
good.
Some of it's funny. Some of it was really good. But one of the things I wish I knew before I got married.
I knew you snored, so that's not one.
I wish I knew, honestly.
Hold your thought. Before y'all got something to say. The reason why I knew he snored is because we have been friends since we were 15. He spent a lot of time in my house when we were friends. He was, okay, get yourself together. He slept on the couch.
I walk in at 12 o'clock in the afternoon. I'd
take a nap and be calling the dogs home, okay?
Because Betty Joe Wilson,
because my mama did not play.
Walking at, tap me on the show like, time to go home.
Time to go home, buddy. My mama did not play them kind of games, okay? Nah, okay. If she want him driving home too late,
time to go home.
He can stay, but baby, he was show enough on that couch, and I was show enough in my room with the door open. My mama didn't play no closed doors in her house.
I think your daddy. I think the time or two that happened, I think your daddy actually slept on the sat in the couch.
Probably did sit in a chair.
Sat on the chair right next to me.
Making show. Bro wasn't going nowhere. So, okay, let me just, because people be out in these streets talking like, see, I do just keep your life, keep your mouth. Okay, go ahead. Carry on, baby.
I thought you needed to do that, huh? So, here's the thing. I wish I knew the flight assessment existed.
That's good.
I wish I knew the flight assessment existed. For those who don't know, why you do that?
Because had we had that, I don't know.
You lied.
We might not have felt like, we might have been like, we are not comparable.
So for those,
we don't go together.
So we,
thank you, Lord, though, that it has helped us where we are today. The Lord knew, don't get us to them. Don't get us to them.
So the flight, guys may have heard us talk about the flight assessment for those, and then we'll give it just very high level. I'll let you do it. But basically, we got introduced to the disc, but it's a different spin on it with our organization ETA, Air Times and Associates. So what's interesting about it is the way we break down the characters, and we use it, and we use it from the standpoint of an airline industry. And when you look at the airline industry, you look at there's really four major characters, right? They're basically, there's four major components to make a commercial airline work.
Yeah.
I mean, can it be successful without them? But to make a successful airline work, is for you got the pilot, you got the flight attendant, you got the ground crew, which put the bags in the plane, you got the air traffic controller, which you never see, but they're a very integral key part, right?
Yeah.
So one of the things with the tool that we use, that we got introduced to, we understood what our character was.
Yeah.
And my character was was what we considered a flight attendant and a pilot, and her character is something totally different, which is what?
The pilot and the air traffic controller.
Your dominant is more of the
flight attendant
with them strong air traffic controllers in there.
But my air traffic controller, she
And
comes through.
and what that means, and for those, just to kind of give you just an image, you guys always know, I tease her about she had to do the comments, right? Because for her, she got to go through all the comments. We call her the compliance queen.
Yeah.
So for her, and here's how this relates. For her, one of our biggest arguments ever when we first got married was when I would wash the dishes. The dishes may pile up in the sink. She working, unworking, whatever the case, whatever happens, dishes get to the sink. I come in, I wash the dishes. I put the biggest argument. I put the dishes up, right? Remember this? You remember this?
Go ahead. I try to,
block it out. I
put the dishes up.
Years. Put the dishes up. We're living in Harvey, Illinois.
Ooh, baby, Harvey.
I put the dishes up.
Baby, 15310 Winchester, honey. That thing taught us to love.
This baby right here comes back in the kitchen. First of all, she fusses at me about putting the dishes up wrong. She comes back in the kitchen, takes all of the dishes out of the cabinet.
Did I do that?
Yes, you did. They've been sitting. Let's just say this ain't the truth, but let's just say
did
a
I
week.
Rewash them?
You didn't know. You didn't rewash them. You took them out of the cabinet and then put them back in the cabinet the right way.
Oh yeah, because I don't.
Because I said, well, what makes the putting the dishes over here wrong? Because that's how you're supposed to put them on the left side. I'm like, but who says that?
My mama.
My mama said that. What makes your mama be right? Because my mama always right. And she taught me it was a drop down, dead, flat out argument. And that thing frustrated me in marriage for years. That whole concept frustrated me in marriage for years because she's wired a certain way. And so I wish I knew the flight because once we took it, I said, oh, I'm reading it. Oh. But it wasn't about her, it's about me adjusting to her. I'm done.
Okay.
Because I know you're not really flowing with me.
I'm flowing with you.
No, you like just hurry up. Will you hurry up and shut up and get to the next point?
I am not. That is not what I'm doing.
Why you didn't chime into that?
I did. Miss Carla Shepherd said the deal breakers for me at this point of my life are okay. Ooh, somebody said lack of intimacy is a deal breaker. Now, when we say intimacy, what do we mean about that? What do we mean? Intimacy, because intimacy could be a couple of things.
So stay there. Hold on. Don't go back. Go back. Because one of the things I did some research, one of the things that people listed was this. The intimacy is important, but it doesn't always mean
sex.
It was important, but it doesn't always have to mean sex. Sometimes sometimes just holding each other can be an important physical connection.
Absolutely.
So are you referring to sex or referring to, as you guys heard us talk about many times, his needs, her needs?
Your love language.
Not love language. His needs, her needs. The top number one need of most men is sex.
Right.
And then, but for women, that intimacy falls ahead of sex.
Right.
So it may not be number one for them, but it falls before sex. But again, touch for men typically equals sex. For women, touch me, just hold me. Hold me, rub me, right, caress me. But don't go no further. Don't go down to the lower levels.
I mean,
that's you.
Okay. We start talking about manipulation, and that's a different conversation. All right, guys, deal breakers. Okay, Miss Carla. She said he can't have no minor children. Got time for no little kids. Cannot be a smoker. Cannot be a yes man. I need a strong man and leader. So do you only want him to say no? That you want him to be I would like balance, okay? Because you do want some yeses here and there, balance. But I get what you're saying. He has to be able to tell me no sometimes. Okay, I got you. Must be strong, effective communicator. Cannot be selfish or self-centered person. Okay, that's good. That's good. Did you have? Oh, I already talked about your deal breakers. You only had one. That I had to learn. I had to know how to cook.
What was your deal breaker for me though?
I ain't had no deal breakers. I loved all of you. Every last part of you. I loved you. Okay?
Do y'all believe that?
Yes, believe it. Believe it, please. Believe it, because it is true. All right, guys, listen. All right, what else you got?
The list.
Yeah.
I'll let you read.
Or read a couple of things. Okay. All right. That my spouse isn't a mind reader. Ooh, that one is good. Just because how you feel is obvious to you doesn't mean it's obvious to them. Tell them what you need them to know. And this goes back up to something that Shar said, which was you don't have to say everything.
Mm-hmm.
However, and then I kind of just talked about how you do need to say it though, right? And then we just kind of cleared it up that it's tone and timing.
Mm-hmm.
So please understand, listen, this one is a good one. I still have issue with this because there are days where I be sitting there like this.
Mm-hmm.
And I really be wanting him to be able to look in here and just feel what I'm saying to you.
Mm-hmm.
And I realize that I have to be like, if I keep putting my feet on you, that don't mean I'm just trying to find a resting position for my foot. I need you to rub my feet. Okay. So then I have to say,
rubbing feet today.
Can
we not talk about rubbing feet?
No, I'm gonna talk about it. You don't have. Yeah, let me talk about it. I was gonna say you don't have to, but that wasn't gonna be true. But you don't. It's okay.
Why are we gonna talk about rubbing feet today?
Because it's a tangible example, right? So for me,
it's a touchy subject for me.
I understand. So for me, it's like you just have to be able to say it. Listen, if you are frustrated or if you're a little bit touched by the fact that your spouse throws their drawers on the floor, then in a really nice way, you can't just like listen, because those of us who be frustrated, we walk past, we make no sense. Every time I come up in here, you got something on this floor, blah, blah, blah. Listen, first of all, your spouse has the keen ability to tune you out. Keen, honey. It is something God done gave spouses, male and female. Well, sometimes you just stop hearing what they saying. You be like,
you do that to me?
Yes. There are days I'll be like, what? I'll be like, I wasn't even listening. Because you be like, did you hear me? I'll be like, I wasn't even listening. Okay. So your spouse is not a mind reader. That's good. That's good.
So hold on, because Robin clarified her question.
Oh, now this is a lie from the pit of hell right here.
Robin clarified her question, said a need for touchy feely. So I that's good. And without see, you're not even paying attention.
I'm paying attention.
No, you're not.
I'm listening. But these some good ones.
Not.
Go ahead.
So I would encourage you that is something you really need to have a conversation with the person that you're looking to take that plunge with.
Absolutely.
Because that can be
that can be horrible.
That is going to frustrate both of y'all.
Both of you. Because if touch
he's not
is not his love language, person, oh gosh.
Well, not even his love language. If he is anti, see, it doesn't have to be necessarily need to be his love language, but if he's not willing to express that his love through touchy feely, that's going to be a problem.
Gotcha.
Because touchy feely for you could be you want him to walk by in public and smack your butt. And he may be uncomfortable doing that.
Right.
Or he may be a touchy-feely person where he wants to smack your butt in public or walk by past you and grope you, and you don't want that. Right. You may only want touchy-feely while you're on the couch. And it doesn't necessarily, and for you, it is absolutely not a sexual invitation. Some people, it is like, okay, I hear people say a lot of time, well, if you rub her the right way or you do this the right way, it's going to lead to that.
That's not always the truth, because I go to sleep.
Yeah.
A good rub for me put me right to sleep. Out. Okay. Yeah. Catch me. Give me about 30.
I've had to grow in that area.
Give me about 30 minutes though. Okay. But I'm asleep for a few minutes.
You give you 30 minutes?
Yeah, to sleep and then wake me up. I mean, then my 30 minutes normally turn into the next morning, but it's okay.
That's why I just look at your butt. That's why I just look at
I need to hear I love you, I appreciate you. Okay, yeah, all of these, Robin, all things that you got to have a conversation about, even down to that. And to somebody else, that is simple. Somebody else would say,
write them out.
Somebody else would be like, well, he say I love you. Like, you want somebody to tell you I love you? Like, that's super simple.
My wife told me I don't tell her when she tell me I love you.
When I tell my husband I love you, let's do a little role play here. No. Here, come on. No, we're gonna role play. You're gonna be me. I'm gonna be you. Okay, go ahead. Put us on mute. Great. Welcome back. You tell me you love me. He's me. Okay, he's me.
I love you, babe. That's not true. See that? Not true.
Love you too. Shh. Love you too. Literally. That's what I get. Okay. And I said, I'm tired of these old stanky, dry, I loves you. Do you love me? Okay. That's exactly what he be doing. So seriously.
I be sleep. Like
I don't care.
And sleep.
I do not care. Did you all see how long it took? It took 2 minutes for him to tell me, listen, Carla said that would tick me off. He does it. Listen, I'd be like this. I'd be like, love you.
What? I should say you should. You should love me.
That used to be his reply. You should. Like, not even I love you back. You should. Like, help me, somebody.
Osteen said you got to find something good to say.
So I love you is not good to say?
Maybe at that time I liked you. But
oh my gosh.
Maybe at that time it wasn't a good time. I don't know. Come on, read them things.
Next. Okay,
we're shutting down at the hour. We're not going to.
I'm gonna read all of these because I think that they're really good. I wish I knew. Okay, I'm not reading that one. No. Read
the first one.
No, because it's about bodily stuff. I don't want to read that.
Well, that was a big issue with us. That was a big issue with us.
This was a big issue.
That was a big issue with us.
Okay, guys, listen. I wish I knew how much my future husband farted. And just understand that his would probably read, I wish I knew how much my future wife. My father.
Well, my daddy did it. He walked around time doing it.
My father was
we are straight up uncut.
Listen,
on this show.
My father was very flatulent, heavy. I have inherited heavy flatulence. Okay, so
not anymore though.
It's much better. You know what? But honestly, that's a really good question. That's probably another show. Because do you know there are some people who have never been in the bathroom with their significant other? Like they do not go into the bathroom.
Somebody told us a deal breaker.
I remember.
You know the person told us it was a deal breaker?
Who?
I can't say the name because they're very private.
Okay. Tell me later.
We had a whole conversation about the fact they said that is a deal breaker for them. That they better strike a match, flush, and all at the same time. They ever smell the person's bodily.
Listen, I had somebody at my old job who said, she was like, oh my gosh, I was at my boyfriend's house. She wasn't married. She's like, I was at my boyfriend's house and oh my gosh, I had to use the bathroom so bad. Mm-hmm. I had to use the bathroom so bad. And he was in the bathroom, like brushing his teeth or something. And I was like, okay. I was like, why didn't you just go in the bathroom and use the bathroom? She's like, oh my God, he can never see me use the bathroom. And I was like, do you plan on getting married? Like, because I don't understand how you married to somebody and they can't never see you use the bathroom. That's too much. I ain't got time for that. Listen, this is what it is, buddy. Okay. This is what it is. That it's okay to not always like each other, but you have to choose to love them every day, even when you don't like them very much. Now, we've talked about that quite a bit on the show about liking and loving one another, and that love is a choice, right? We talked about the mind reader, that you don't have to follow societal norms. Okay, that's a good one. That's a good one. Now, I don't agree with the rest of this statement. It says, my husband and I sleep in different rooms because it works for us. We sleep better and thus like each other more.
How old are y'all?
I don't even know, but we ain't finna play them kind of games. Baby, you ain't got to, honey, sleep yourself, babe. Listen, turn the fan on, get you some ocean sounds or something to drown out whatever you need to drown out. But honey,
so listen, they got these things now. My best friend told me about it. I even read it somewhere. They got these blankets now. They have dual cooling zones.
I need it.
Like literally,
Christmas. That's on my list. That's the first thing on my list. I want a dual cooling blanket. I need it back because you don't like it when I sleep with the fan. You wake up like.
It doesn't matter if I get you an ice pillow for your.
I want it.
You still have a fan on.
No.
It doesn't matter
because you wake up after the fan. You be like, you know.
Did you just?
I wish I knew to marry the person.
You grew up in the projects with the hood with the.
Did you just say I grew up in the projects?
It's a joke. Because I was at the radio.
There's nothing wrong with the projects. But I'm just saying, how you gonna say I grew up in the projects?
Because you missed the joke in that.
I didn't just say I grew up in an apartment building. Why you got to go to the project?
I forgot who I'm talking to. Let me back up right now. It was a joke to you and to your mama. Don't text me, please. I apologize.
Get him, Ma.
I was not calling your place. It was a joke. It was show.
Okay, go ahead.
Because in the projects, they have radiators.
Okay, but so do regular buildings.
It was a joke.
Okay, come back. Carry on.
No, I have to because I don't want to give no text.
Go. Acting like regular buildings did not have radiators, and houses and homes had radiators.
Listen,
radiators were how people heated their places of living.
Don't take the bait.
Thank you, Jesus.
Don't take the offense as a sin.
Thank you, Jesus.
Taking the offense as a sin. Don't sin today.
Thank you, Jesus.
Now, I asked for my forgiveness.
You're forgiven.
Please forgive me. So don't take the bait.
Carry on.
This is... I can see. Listen, if we had a studio.
Hey, Jacqueline, how are you?
If we had a studio.
Listen, we like a good fan, okay? I like a good fan.
If we had a studio audience, I can guarantee everybody's room was like,
y'all ain't got to get quiet. Listen,
what just happened?
Y'all ain't got to get quiet.
Listen,
y'all can chime in. I know. Listen, this is when you go. Listen, when we start cutting up like this, you just go grab your popcorn, okay, and be like,
I'm serious. Listen. I feel like we
got. You gonna turn them birds
off? We got a cancel culture going on these days, and I'm gonna cancel y'all. Cancel. I was being funny.
Good. Okay.
All right.
Next. I wish I knew to marry the person.
My point about the radiators.
Go ahead. Because I needed a fan.
Because we're ready. You had a fan on
winter, summer, spring, and fall. Because
snowing outside.
Because if you grew up anywhere around a radiator, you knew Listen, this old central heat they're giving us now, a lie. We always running the central heat because we thought that was the best thing since sliced bread. Lies. You better let that water run through that radiator, flush it out. That's some good thing. You got to keep your kids away. Now you got to teach your children not to touch the radiator, baby, because that's a good. No, you got to burn. Yeah. A radiator burn. That's what it is.
Where radiator from? That's from the stove.
Well, we talking about radiators, and why you talking about stove burns?
Because anyway, whatever.
I wish I knew to marry the person my spouse already was instead of the potential I saw in them. Honey, that's when you just be like.
So you dropped the mic right there. Wait. Are you married now?
I don't know if they married or not.
Are you?
No, that's on
I thought I was like, oh, Jesus.
They said, I wish I knew to marry the person my spouse already was instead of the potential I saw in them.
Man, that's good.
Which is actually really good.
Man, that's good stuff right there.
This goes to that whole thing. And let's be real clear about this. I try to tell people all the time, sweetheart, what you see now is what you get. Right? So when people get married feeling like, well, when we get married, they're going to change for the better, or this is going to be different, or I'm going to change them. My thing is, don't make that assumption. You got to look at what you got right now and ask yourself, am I okay with this person if nothing ever changes? Let me reset the room. Hey, y'all come on in the room. You have entered into the conversations with the Gholstons. This is real, uncut, unfiltered conversation. Make sure that you like, share, comment, and subscribe. I am Ascenta Gholston. This is my husband, Antonio Gholston, and we are your hosts. We are here to just talk to you guys. Listen, we are married. We started this conversation maybe almost 2 years ago.
Ain't been that long.
Because I don't think COVID had hit yet.
Yes, it did. That's why we started.
Oh, it did. On Best Friend Sunday? It wasn't COVID. Either way it goes, carry on. So what I'm saying is, listen, we started this show just on a conversation, right? And we thought it was good, and people were like, y'all need to have more conversations like this. And so we just started having more and more conversations. So you guys can go back and catch the replay. You can subscribe or like our page on Facebook or our YouTube channel. And you can catch some of the shows. If you're new joining us, say hello. Let us welcome you into the room. But again, tonight's conversation is there something you wish you knew about marriage before you took the plunge? Is there something you wish you knew about marriage before you took the plunge? If you're not married, is there something that is a deal breaker for you? And this right here, I wish I knew to marry the person my spouse already was instead of the potential I saw in them.
So let me speak to that.
It's so good.
So I have an aunt who married my blood uncle. And I'll never forget this. And we tease about it today, but it's probably one of the most, it goes to that point Why you go to the comments? See, if you go to the comments, then you gonna get stuck.
No, I'm not gonna get stuck.
Cause you reading those.
I am.
She said, "I married your uncle for his potential."
Mm.
They've been married. They gotta be married 40 years, probably. Feel like it at least. And she said, "I married your uncle because of his potential." She says, "I'm still waiting on that potential to come up." Now she said it as a joke, and we laugh about. She told me that probably like 10 years, 15 years ago, and we laugh about it all the time. That's our little joke, but it's a lot in that.
Yeah, it is.
Now, let me be very clear. My uncle, so I don't nobody get offended. I mean, he's retired, did well in life, kids, married, grown, married, family. Everything is good, right? No issues. But that's always been the running joke between me and her is I married uncle because he had good potential.
And sometimes
I'm still waiting on the potential to rise up.
And listen, this is the thing. And I heard a speaker say this at convention this year. Sometimes you have to stop believing in potential. And at first I took that and I looked at that and I was like, why would you say that?
Unpack that.
Because there are so many people that are full of potential. But the truth of the matter is, how long do you wait for somebody's potential to manifest?
When you married until the end.
Okay.
That's different.
Right. Because at that point you're married. Yeah, but if we're not married and I'm like, I'm a wait for your potential, who's to say that potential will ever mature or manifest? So you have to either be okay with what you have right now or move around.
Ooh, that's a show.
Okay, that's another show.
That's a show, and I'm gonna say this. I'm not sure if I'm gonna come out just right, but I think everybody marries people based on some potential.
Okay.
That very few people. Let me speak maybe specifically to my life. Very rarely. I'm gonna give this analogy just because I just saw it on television, social media today. Okay. Anthony Davis got married, I think, this summer. He's a famous basketball player from Chicago, LA with LeBron James, whatever. And I believe he just got married. But clearly, he's at probably the height of his career, making tons of money. He got married, right? So in that situation, you can almost say he's doing well career-wise, doing well from the surface, doing well career-wise, got money, all this good stuff. She married now. Not, but if she would have married him when he's in high school, you don't think a little bit of I see the potential where you're going to be. Not to say you're going to marry because of that reason. I'm not saying that. Let me. Thank you.
No.
Let me bring it to us. I absolutely married. I believe without question. I absolutely married potential. Because you were not who you are today. You are not who you are today when I married you. So I think subconscious, I think you do marry potential. You was fine.
Thank you. You better have cleaned it
up. You had potential.
Potential of what?
To cook. You can absolutely throw down.
Let's keep going.
You can. My wife can cook.
Baby, he gonna get stuck right there. Oh God. Yeah. Oh da. Y'all better listen. Y'all better start praying for brother man right now. Because right now there are some things in my mind that I wish he could read. And I don't know if when I say it, it's going to come out at the right time or in the right tone. No, it is not. Come on. All right, listen. All right, so seriously, I didn't realize how difficult dealing with in-laws would be. I had to learn how to communicate with a family that works very differently than mine does. That's very true. Sometimes I think it's very rarely that you marry into a family that is kind of extra, like just like yours or vice versa. So again, I said that earlier that, I wish that I would have known that you are marrying their family and not just them. And when people tell you that I'm not marrying your family, I'm just marrying you, to some extent, I get what you're saying. But if that person,
you told my family to stay away.
I did. I told your family to stay away for a year, just a year. I said, listen, let us be married.
Who tells somebody?
Because your family is the type of family that grew up with the whole, you can leave Chicago at 1:00 in the morning, driving down to Alabama, and you call your family in Kentucky at 3:00 and 4:00 in the morning, like we an hour out. And they gonna get up and start cooking okra and cornbread and greens.
That's good eating.
I'm gonna be like this. Okay, then y'all be safe now.
My auntie cooked the whole fried chicken, lemon. We was leaving the football game in Birmingham, Alabama, coming to York. and my auntie Willie Mae had a whole fried chicken dinner with some collard greens.
And not just that, but she had baked. Listen, y'all. She had baked.
When we got there,
she had baked an entire pound cake.
We had a whole full course meal at 11. Was it 11:30?
I don't even know, and I don't even care.
11:30 at night.
All I'm saying is this: I don't have that spirit of the come on over. I don't have it. Okay. And I clearly explained that to his family. Bless them. I love them. Okay.
My family's still wounded from that.
Your family still wounded. Forgive me, Gholston. I love you guys dearly. Patricia is my favorite. She is not wounded. Patricia, if you are wounded, I owe you a crab boil. Let's go out to eat and you can let me know.
You know she's good for that.
Listen, I'm good for a meal. Okay, listen.
Patricia, she good.
And Patricia gonna tell me the truth, and she know I don't listen because she know we can have real good conversation. I don't mind. Okay, I didn't say put it on the screen, Patricia. I said let's talk about it later. Now we ain't got to expose all our family business right here, okay? Okay, you ain't got to put me out there like that. Okay. All right. Somebody else said that I would be immediately pressured to have kids by everyone. I couldn't even.
That right there thing is real.
I swear that is universal. You ain't even walking down the aisle. They be like, so when you having like, I just got married. Get out my face. That marriage is fighting about ridiculous things, like both of you knowing the milk in the fridge is expired and neither of you throwing it out. No, I don't know about that one. Poop. Oh, that you have to, okay. This is a good one, that you don't have to do everything together all the time. Well, that's another show because we talked about that. People who don't like your spouse is like, that's it. Like that's your nucleus. I think that's a good show to have. Spending habits.
Can we talk? I mean, you just keep going.
Okay, because I think that some of these may be topics to have separate conversations about.
But can we just hit a few?
Sure. That you don't have to do everything together all the time. We certainly don't.
That was an issue.
Yeah, because you needed somebody who did you because recreational companionship was important for you.
My wife like to go to stuff like leave to go to Denver. And when I hear from her again, when she get back home, you don't even call when you get off the airplane when you come back.
I do. I text you when I get there. Because it's my time. It's my time. When I go away to Denver, it's my time. I don't want to sit on the phone with you for an hour. Hey, babe, you good? Okay, love you.
That's a hot mess.
You know I'm alive. That's all that matters.
That's a hot mess, though.
Anyway.
That's a hot mess.
Guys, listen, if you're coming into the room, go ahead and type in the comments. What is it that you wish you knew about marriage? You going on a retreat?
I will go on a retreat.
With who?
Myself.
Where?
I don't know yet. It's by myself.
Baby, go ahead. Because you know when you leave, how well I rest. The peace of God. Everybody should get here. I don't have that issue of falling asleep when he's not here. Baby, I sleeps good, okay? I'm a different kind of wife, y'all. Yeah.
Clearly.
I wish I knew my husband's spending habits.
Did we tell y'all not talk about, is that Tori?
No, babe, I'm reading the list.
I keep thinking, Tori, I'm sorry, Tori.
Why are you throwing people under the bus?
Because Tori be on one tonight.
All right, listen. All right, let me hit some of these comments. All right, let's see. My husband better be ready, and my spouse needs to be able to talk to me. Oh, Carla Shepard said, so we talked about bathroom etiquette earlier. Like, if you're married, like, is that a deal breaker for you? Because some people are like, you can't come in the bathroom with me, and it's a deal breaker. But Carla said he better be ready because, baby, the door gonna be open and everything. Yeah, I lived that, but that's how I lived growing up. Like, I had two brothers, my mom and my dad, and like we were a different kind of family. Like, my brother could be in the bathtub, and if I had to use the bathroom, I was like, hey, if I was in the bathtub and I got a phone call, he'd be like, hey, Nene, phone, and he would walk in, wash his face, it wasn't nothing crazy going on in my family, y'all. I'm not saying it like that, but I'm just saying we didn't have those like, oh my God, I'm in the bathroom. Like, we just didn't have that. Jacqueline says she loved her fan. Yeah, some people, that fan will try to get you. Robin said, okay, so this is about the potential. Robin said, yep, I thought my ex would grow out of some things he never did, and he was 5 years older than me. Robin, yep. She put her name in. She said, hey, Al, what's up? What's up? Yeah, it's that
nothing Jerry Jones got to say.
It's that potential thing. Like, seriously, I think that that's a great show to have, though. Like, should you marry potential? Like, seriously, because I think that some people get into a rut or get stuck because you marry. Because this is the thing. There are sometimes things that you see in people that they don't see in themselves. And sometimes they never see it in themselves. So it doesn't matter how much of it you see, that person has to see it. Do they have the ability to see in themselves what you see in them?
Well, I had counsel, that marital counsel.
Wait, who said that I said to expect change and don't expect change tonight? What I say? Ascenta said both to expect change and don't expect change tonight. That is the very essence of marriage. Oh,
well, it's kind of true.
It depends on, and listen, you expect the person to change, but if you're marrying potential, you may not get that change. Like, that's all I'm saying. You got to, it's a line. It's interesting.
So I had counsel that said that my job was to bring out your potential. I'm paraphrasing that. Why is you looking over at me?
That's your job.
That's what that's what I was coached on.
Yeah. You feel like you brought out my potential, babe?
Oh, God did that. Huh. Don't take no credit for that. All God.
Oh, come on, give it to him.
My job is to pray.
Give it to him.
Intercede.
All of it goes to him.
All of it goes to him.
All goes to him.
All of it goes to him.
No, don't put that thumb on you. Don't put that thumb on you.
Can we sit in the comment for a minute?
Let me sit here. Okay.
Sit in it.
I'm sitting.
Rest in it. Stay in it. Let it marinate. All right, come on, stay there. Come back.
We all grown on this here live. Come on here.
Listen, the bottom line.
You know, y'all bring out the manipulator in him.
In me?
In me, really.
Whatever, go ahead. I'm done.
No, go ahead, babe. Come on.
You know my thought was
here's the comment.
1,000 million thoughts in one time.
1,000 million. Okay. Jerry Jones said, hey, Jerry Jones. He said, and congratulations. You need to go to his Facebook page. He's moving into a new career.
Well, you leave it, manager?
You would, if you would have read it. I wish I knew that there is no such thing as marital advice when I got married.
That's probably the comment of the night. That's probably the comment.
Honey, I wish it wasn't no such. I wish I knew it wasn't no such thing as marital advice.
Hey, I think you get this right here, Jerry.
Listen. And one of the comments that we read off of the survey that he was looking at, talked about that. Listen, you have to make your marriage your own. And I think too oftentimes one of the things that we fall into, which I think is a trap, is when you look at other people's marriage and you try to make your marriage that, but you're not the same people. And I think that this is where the disc really helps us.
I'm sorry.
I think that this is where the disc really helped us, because the flight assessment showed us our natural behavior styles, right? It showed us how we function on a day-to-day basis. And it also revealed why we adapt, right? Because you really want to function in your natural behavior all the time, right? That's where you want to be most of the time. When you start adapting, if you're adapting for somebody else, at some point in time, there's going to be burnout. You're going to be tired. That's what happened with me. I didn't know that's what it was, but I got married and I thought that this was the way a wife was supposed to be with her husband. I thought I was supposed to have every meal cooked. I thought I was supposed to, did you give me like the down? Okay. I thought I was supposed to have certain things done because, hey, that's what other people say and that's what you're supposed to do. And then about 2-3 years in, I was tired. I was tired of trying to do things that were not natural for me to do, right? And so I think that it's important for you to understand that. Now, I'm not saying don't get marital counseling or don't get marital advice, but what I am saying is that you do have to make marriage your own, okay? You have to make it your own.
I'm telling you, I can't tell you enough. And you're gonna hear me. I'm gonna ride this horse until God say different. Like a preacher say, I'm gonna stay here until you get it. I'm gonna keep on saying it. That the flight assessment was a game changer in our marriage.
Yes, it was.
It was a game changer in our relationship with my daughter.
Yeah.
And I absolutely, I mean, to me, if you know, we're entering into a new season, and doing some things in ministry in respects to marriages and stuff like that. That is an absolutely 100% requirement. Period.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it just helped us to understand self-awareness.
Yeah.
It's not about take this, use this online tool or take this survey so that I can know I know how to fix you.
Right. Oh no.
But it is more or less an awareness, awareness of my being authentically true to myself.
Right.
Because if I am authentically true to who I am, then I don't get frustrated. I know my trigger points, my blind spots, my weaknesses. Because so going back to the analogy of the dishes for just a moment, is I understood how I'm wired with that.
Oh, yeah, we're gonna have to go because on his calendar he has foot rub today at 9:45. So I gotta make sure I'm on time for my appointment. Go ahead, babe. See, right now that was a trigger point for him, and he's learning how to make the adjustment right now. Okay, versus responding, he's gonna make the adjustment. Okay, and he's gonna come back. Go ahead. That's good. See, it's good. I'm just trying to show you guys real life examples.
So I understood how it triggered me with the dishes.
Yes.
So therefore, when it happened, I didn't react or respond because I knew what my trigger was and why it bothered me so much.
Yeah.
But more or less I knew how to adjust to it. But I also understood, now don't get me wrong, by reading her assessment, I also understood why she did what she did now. I got it better now. Yeah. She's an air traffic controller. It's systematic for her. It's a process. It's a procedure. So now I understand that why am I getting mad because of this? Because she needs in an order. She needs in structure. There's no long need for me to get mad because that's just how she's wired. We're going to always be frustrated if I get wired time she want to put A, B, C together.
Right.
Just go straight
just
to
let her
C.
be. I love it, babe. All right. Tori said, I got. No, it wasn't. It wasn't, babe. Tori said, I got married because of the fairy tale potential. Oh.
Tori, we got to have you on the show.
So it wasn't even the potential that you saw in that person. It was because of the fairy tale. Like, I love stories. But I'm going to tell you something I tell my daughter all the time. When we looking at little cute love stories, I be like, that ain't what that look like for real. I be like, baby, that is Hollywood's version. And I think a lot of us live looking at stuff like that and feeling like that's how it's going to happen in our lives. And then when it doesn't happen, we are super, super disappointed. And it kind of goes back to looking at what other people do in their marriages. It just does not work for everybody. Okay. Facts. You need separation. It is okay not to be around your spouse 24/7.
Be quiet.
Okay. Who is this yelling sister at me? Who is this? Okay. I'm not acting up tonight. What I do? Oh no, he a manipulator, Jerry. He a good manipulator.
You gotta watch the previous show to get the context of that statement.
Somebody who said, "Oh, good evening. You're not married, but you're taking." Yes, take notes. Take notes, because that's what a lot of this conversation is about too. We don't want people to feel like if you're not married, you can't learn something. Like, these are good things for you to hear. Yeah. And a lot of us who are married, who had counseling and things of that nature, listen, it doesn't matter. When you are growing in marriage as a person, you are going to learn things about yourself and your spouse as you go. There's never going to be a perfect hey, there's never going to be like this perfect remedy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, you just have to make it, you have to make adjustments as life goes on, right? You just have to be able to make the adjustments. Okay.
Yep.
Take notes, y'all. Take notes. You can see potential. But I said this earlier. What you see, I've had friends I had a good girlfriend. When she got married, I remember her calling me maybe a couple of weeks before the marriage happened and kind of having a discussion with me about some things that she was seeing in her fiance. And I remember telling her, I said, listen, calling off a marriage is nothing but a phone call. Like what you see now.
Now you're trying to break up marriages.
I wasn't trying to break up a marriage. They weren't married yet. But what I was saying was you're frustrated. And this is not just frustration from wedding planning and things of that nature. This is you are seeing core behavior style. You are seeing who this person is, their behavior, what they're doing. And you're still going to marry them with the expectation that that's going to change once you get married. And what I'm saying is marrying potential in some way may not be
Well, you know, I have a saying that I quote a lot.
a good thing.
When a person show you who they are,
Believe them.
Believe them.
All of it.
The only challenge is when you're married, you can't go nowhere. You gotta speak to that.
No,
thing.
it's you got to start paying to get out. Just get out while it's free. I did say that.
You just say
because that's the reality. Get out while it's free.
Spiritual.
Oh, you want me to be spiritual?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
You got to pray for you.
No. I'm talking about before you get married. You were saying that you get married and then you got to do a whole bunch of other stuff. Whereas if you see that this is what's happening prior to marriage, get out while it's free. Get out while it's free. I'm going to keep saying that. Get out. Okay. All right. Who said this? Your default or dominant style can also be your defense and become a roadblock. Absolutely. With every superpower, there is always a flip side of that, right? There's always that side of it where it's a negative, right? So for everything that is good, there may be a negative to that, because it's like, you know, when people say like they are a self-starter, let's talk about job. Like that's a good character, but it also could be a negative if you are self-starting, you just take off down the road and ain't nobody actually go that way. And now you just wasting time, money, energy, effort. Like be a self-starter, but with direction. Some people are self-starter without direction. Could be good, but it also could be bad.
Okay.
Oh, because I know as a trainer, I had a lot of self-starters, and I wish they would have just paused for a minute, because what they started messed up a lot of stuff we had to fix. Okay. All my people out there. All right. Jerry Jones said, my wife and I, Chinese horoscope says we should avoid each other. We are truly.
First of all, that's your problem right there. Talking about Chinese horoscopes. Boy,
they get them
you
from
grew up in the good old Baptist church. Talking about Chinese horoscopes.
Listen, you know the folk read the horoscopes, okay? What about marrying a cheater? What about it, Jacqueline? What about marrying a cheater?
Don't do it.
Well, this is. Well, let me say this.
Hold on, say that. Don't do it.
This again, right? What about marrying a cheater? So just dig into that a little bit more and let us know what you're actually asking.
We can talk about just a statement.
However, if you already know a person is a cheater,
but he's a good provider.
Though. Okay, honey, let me help you understand something. Let me expose some things. So
maybe a good manipulator.
Hold on. Let me share some things. So I remember when I was in my early 20s. Okay. I was working a job and there was a gentleman there who was not married, but was dating, living with the young lady, had children with the young lady, so forth and so on. When I started, he was dealing with another young lady that worked in the company. And she let me know that's my man. And I was like, but he got a woman. Okay. He got a woman. And it is what it was. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Well, do you not know little old me got caught up too? She had left the company. You already know. You already no, you already know. You already know. Ain't no false.
See, she be dropping nuggets. She be dropping bombshells on this show.
You already knew.
It does not come back to memory.
Remember when my car got stopped and I called you and then somebody else showed up to help fix the car on the expressway?
I don't know if nobody showed up because you called me out of a meeting.
You do know because you was like, dude, show up. You do know. But
you told me that he just was riding past.
No, I didn't know.
You told me.
No, that has nothing to do with what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
I didn't say that he was or was not riding. I didn't say I called him. What I'm saying is somebody else showed up. You already knew this. Why you acting brand
I
new?
was trying to say,
Because you
that
be
was-
blocking stuff. That ain't my
That was some
fault.
20.
Nonetheless, it was years ago. But what I'm saying is that, needless to say, I got caught up, right? And this was the thing, is that there was a certain, now I did have a boundary. Don't get me wrong, I had a boundary.
Wait,
But
hold on, I didn't know this part. Wait a minute. Are you telling me, Michelle, get it? You telling? I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all talk amongst yourselves for a minute. Are you telling me that you knew the guy was dealing?
Yeah,
with
they
her?
were still very much.
And then when she left, you decided you
not
wanted to go play in
immediate.
that field.
No, it was not even immediate.
But he was still married.
He wasn't married yet. No, he was not married. Listen to what I'm saying.
Okay.
Follow me.
I'm trying to.
He was not
Get
married.
there quickly.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
But you keep stopping me.
Okay.
Don't have me start going into another person, okay? You keep stopping me. Let me finish.
Don't have me slip into Dion either.
We don't want Nene to come out.
You don't want Dion to come out either.
They don't need neither one of them to come out.
I understand that.
Can you stay, Antonio?
Can you stay Janine? I mean, Jacinta.
Okay, because you're Janine, a different person too.
Dion is a different person too.
Okay, let's hold hands and sit back.
No, don't hold my hand right now.
This is what I'm saying, Miss Jacqueline.
No. They're talking amongst themselves right now.
Listen, this is what I'm saying.
Yeah, go ahead, I'm listening.
No, he was not married.
Okay.
Very clearly.
Why you touching me?
Okay, because I'm trying to tell you something.
But you can't touch me though. Yeah, just keep space. Let's go.
He was not married.
Over here. Come on, go.
What is it that you want me to say? I'm trying to answer a
Tell
question.
the story. I'm asking you a question. You answer my question yet.
I need to get back to the people.
They in the studio audience. Talk to me. Over here. Let's go.
Nothing happened.
I didn't say it did.
Okay. But what I'm saying is that even when I cut it off and we were just friends.
You keep going to the cutoff part. Go before that part.
Why? Why do we have to pause there?
Whoa, no.
Because I'm trying to get to
I'm not following the story.
Okay, but if you let me finish and stop interrupting me, I'm just trying to get to a point for Miss Jacqueline.
But I ask you a question.
Are y'all eating y'all popcorn? Because I wish I had some. Because I'm just trying to get to.
You got bees popping
No, because I'm getting frustrated because I need you to shush and let me finish talking.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm trying to explain something about a cheater prior to marriage. A cheater.
I understand.
Okay, then be quiet.
But I asked you a question about a situation you just brought up.
Okay, but can we talk about that later? Can I just get through it?
But why you can't do it now?
Oh God.
Need a break?
No, I need you to take a break. Hello, how are you all this evening? Thank you so much for joining us. This is Conversation with the Ghost.
We definitely
this is Antonio.
Because you like to break up stuff on the show.
No, and I am about to Gholston. The conversation is just talking about, is there something you wish you knew before you got married about marriage? The question was, what about marrying a cheater? And I'm just, all I want to say is, somebody needs to do a technical difference.
I had one somewhere. Where did it go? I had one somewhere.
Listen, y'all.
I had one somewhere.
We tell y'all this is real, uncut, unfiltered conversation. This kind of stuff be happening, okay? Oh, God. Okay. Can you stop with the comms? Stop. All right. So what I'm saying is that this gentleman, not literally, there was an end to the little, fling, okay? It was nothing deep. Honestly, it really wasn't. It was nothing deep. But what I'm saying is that he was a cheater before he got married. When he got married, because they eventually did get married, I remember seeing him a couple of years after that. And we were talking, having great conversation. Seriously, nothing's going on. And I remember asking him, are you doing right by her? And he was like, I might still slip up every now and again. And I'm just saying, legit. And so I was just like, so you still cheating? Why would you even get married if you're going to still cheat? Just keep doing what you like. Just leave her alone. Let her go live her life. So I feel, and she knew, a lot of this she already knew. And so my thing is, that was a whole nother situation. He's a cheater. Now they still married, doing really well, right? I'm happy they're doing well. Wish them well. But my thing is, if you knew he was a cheater, you still married him and he still cheated after that. At one point, are you just okay with he still cheating and I'm good with it? Or what do? You leaving me? You done left me? He done left me. All right, y'all. So that's all I'm going to say about a cheater. Okay. I know people that get married just to get married. Absolutely. There's I think maybe this will be next week's topic. Who you talking to? I think this will be next week's topic. Okay.
What was that?
But Miles Monroe, I posted it in the conversation with the Gholston page. He said, love is not, you don't need love to have a successful marriage. And I had a lot of people that were kind of going ham about that comment because people are like, what do you mean you don't need love to have a successful marriage? Because marriage can be an arrangement. It doesn't have to be I love you and you love me. That's a whole nother conversation though. All right. What are you doing? Are you doing comms from over there? Oh, sometimes things change and both of you all grow. I believe it's important for both people to support each other when the change is good. Absolutely. I agree with that statement. All right. Who said I was acting up tonight? Not me. It was him. My child father says if I marry him, he won't cheat because he believes in God.
So was he a cheater before?
Is he a cheater before, he believed?
And he said once you marry him, then he not going to cheat no more because he fear God?
If I marry him, he won't cheat, which means he cheating right now?
Okay, I'm just going to let that sit right there. Keep going.
Nah, buddy. If you cheating right now, it shouldn't take me marrying you for you to stop. You should stop now. Yeah, that's going to be an N-O spells no for me. N-O to the no. What you say? Somebody needs to wish they knew their spouse had multiple personalities.
All right, guys. Well,
all right.
Hi,
my name is Antonio Gholston, and I did not get my question answered.
Camille, what are you saying? He's talking to me. I unpack that for me.
He talking to me, Camille. Okay, what are you saying? All right, y'all. Listen, seriously though, it's been a great show. Honestly, it's been a really, really good show, guys. Is there something you wish you knew about marriage before you took the plunge? Now, that question was specifically for married people. However, those who are not married, listen to the things that are being said and ask yourself, like, are those deal breakers? Is that something that I can still tolerate if it never changes? Antonio asked that question a little bit earlier, right? Like when you look at the person that you are dealing with now, dating, whatever it is, right? Somebody who you feel could be a good spouse. Like, number one, what is their track record? Like, what is your track record with relationships? Have you been married before? What did that look like? What's happening in your life now? Have you changed from those previous experiences? Like, are you a better person now than you were then, or are you the same person? I think that Antonio said something that he wished that
you keep touching me on the slide.
Well, let me stop touching you then.
Okay, though.
Don't worry about it. He said,
it's okay.
No. He said he wished he knew the person that he dated was not going to be the same person that he married. Is that what you said? Yeah. Which means that change happens, right? So there's sometimes going to be a change. So are you okay with change? Are you okay with the way that things are going now? Is there something that's a deal breaker? So there are a couple of things that can come out of this. I did say, you can't always trust that a person's potential is going to come out.
Yeah. Before you guys, I see people are saying good show. Thank you guys so much. I got a couple of takeaways I want to leave with you guys. A couple of tangible things that I want to leave with you guys. So stick around for the end. We're bringing it to a close. We're about to land the plane. But I definitely want to. I wrote down a couple of things.
Let me guide you in, sir. The runway is clear. Runway is clear.
So, any final questions you guys may have? Comments?
Yep. Any questions? Comments? Yep.
Before we get ready to land,
we're gonna be good after this, y'all. Don't worry about it. It ain't gonna be no, side fighting or nothing like that.
Is that you confessing?
No,
declaring.
No, you good, man.
Let me tell y'all something.
When we get off here and we talk about it, you're gonna be like, oh yeah, you did.
Let me tell y'all something.
Sir, you were like my friend before.
I was in a business meeting. This is when you say how far to go back to Next Tales. We had remember the Next Tales you could chirp.
Chirp, chirp.
I have a set of standard business meeting on a Tuesday night. This joker calling me, texting me to come get her and her daddy.
The car had got
her daddy.
I don't lost
off the expressway. But anyway, and I left my business meeting and drove. How long did it take me to get about an hour?
I don't know. I don't lost my stones.
That's important right now?
They in my head. They got caught up. Oh, yeah,
there's stones in your head.
It came off.
All right, listen. All right. This has been a great show. Thank you all so much for being here tonight. Tonight, this was good. Really appreciate you guys. As always, if you have any show topics you guys want to talk about, please do so. Remember, this is uncut, unfiltered conversation that we have with you guys.
Yeah.
Appreciate you so much. We do thank you all the great comments. Tori, you had a lot of great comments tonight. Camille, thank you guys so much. Jerry, thank you guys so much.
Jacqueline, thanks for coming into the room. So much. Tanya, thanks so much really for coming into the room, guys. Hey, Riley.
Please do me a favor. Always go and subscribe. If you're not subscribing to our Conversation with the Gholston Facebook group, please do so. If you're not subscribed to our YouTube page, please do so. But I want to leave a couple of takeaways. I think, one of the things about I want to make sure that our show, we're unapologetic Christians. I want to make sure that we always lead with some concrete information. Let's take aways from you guys. So this kind of our segment of, what did you take away from this? What is your takeaway from tonight from this conversation? And the conversation was, what is the things you wish you knew about marriage before you took the plunge? Mm-hmm. And there are three things I think every couple that is even considering getting married. I think some of these things that happen even before the ring is even put on it, finger. And when you think this thing is serious, you need to have some of these conversations on a high level. And once it's really serious, you need to go into a deeper dive on these things.
Like for real,
And the three things that I'm gonna give you the three things, and I'm gonna go break them down just a little bit. Number one, I think every couple is mandatory need to read the book His Needs, Her Needs.
Absolutely. Because
His Needs, Her Needs is going to give you the things that most men need in a relationship and the things that most women need in a relationship. We've done a whole show on this, and we did a show called Entanglement, and it was based around that book because it talks about that the premise of it is how to build an affair-proof marriage because 9 times out of 10, what you need in the marriage, if your spouse is not giving it to you, you're going to get it from somewhere else. It's never I walk out the door and say, hey, my wife did not give me a hug today. I am going out here to get a hug from somebody else. Right. It is never that tangible. Right. It's very, very subtle. So the His Needs, Her Needs book is just a tool that need everybody. Even if you're married today, you can go back. If you're married, get that book.
Get the book.
Because it talks about the top 5, the top 5 needs and the top
5 needs of a man and the top 5 needs of a woman. But it talks about them, breaks them down based on
it's different
studies.
From love language too. It's different from love language.
It is different from the love language. And it breaks it down based on the author's studies and years of years of counseling and things of that nature. But what it does for you is it gives you a place to start. So some people just don't know where to start. You may be in a marriage, in a relationship, getting married, dating somebody, and you kind of like, I don't even know really where to start the conversation in order for us to have that kind of deep conversation. Where do we start? The book is a great place to start. And this is the thing, is that I'll say this. You have to also be able to use discernment, right?
What do you mean?
Meaning, like a person will say, this is my need, and you start digging deeper about it, right? It could be real surface sometimes. Like, my need is sex. Okay. Your need is sex. Great to know. How much sex do you need to have?
Oh, that's good.
How much sex do you need to have? How often do you need to have sex? Do you want to invite other people into the bed for sex?
Wait. Hold on.
What I'm saying is go deep, because you may be
condoning that.
No, absolutely not. No, what I'm saying is have those conversations, because some people are uncomfortable getting that deep, right? But if that's something that they need, like sex is blanket, right? Sex is just blanket. But let's go deeper about what that looks like for you. Right? What does that look like? Does that look like you like to fantasy role play? Does that, like, you got to really have a conversation? And sometimes I'm just using that as a topic, but sometimes people are scared to go deeper into those conversations. This is just going to give you the very surface and basics of where to start.
But if you read the book, you go through the book, it really breaks.
But you got to
right. Things,
but you got to get into the depths. Like if like stability or security, family security is important for you, then you have to be able to explain. What I mean by that is this, that I should never have to pay a bill, that you're able to take care of everything if my salary were to go away, or that you're going to make sure that this is taken care of, or this is you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want an apartment. I want you to buy me a house. I don't, like, you got to go deep. So I think that book is really good, but go ahead, babe.
But I'm going to say this point, and we'll go to the next two things real quick. But honestly, you know, when of the survey of the average man, again, average man, everybody's different. Average man, the number one need of the average man is sex, and then the number one need of the average woman is really, it kind of goes 1 and 2 is really no hardcore. Number one hardcore is for man is sex, but for a woman, the hardcore, I mean, it's no hardcore, was like 1 and 2 affection and financial security, right? Are the two back and forth for a woman. So again, think about that. I think Robin talked about it earlier. Think about it. If the number one need for a man is sex, and number one need for a woman is affection, and if an affection for a woman just to be hugging me, holding my hand, touch, those type of things. And for a man, when you touch, that means
it turns into sex for him. Then that's an issue.
That's an issue.
Because she may not, because she be like, sex is number 10. I just need you to hold my hand.
Right.
And he like, oh yeah, and that means let's go.
Then when you hold she hold her hand, and she does this right here. She rub your hand. All of a sudden now
you like, oh yeah, you know, no. But like, dude, right?
But yeah, it's you know, there's a couple that we know from the past. Let me stay married, but that they went through the book. And they found out that the number one need for man, the male was sex. But like you just said, it wasn't just sex. It was sex on a whole other level.
Right.
It was sex on like 10 times a day sex.
Yeah. You got to be able to have a conversation.
Like, and they did not have, she did not have a clue. And sex was not her
on her radar.
Which was a really big
issue.
But and what they both, and it's the reason why I said that, what they both said was they glad that they had that conversation before they got married, because it gave her the opportunity to really make that mental adjustment.
Right.
And the good part about that relationship is she was okay with knowing that, hey, this is his need. I'm okay with providing this need for him, because there are some women or even some men that would not be the case.
So again, we're talking about deal breakers.
So you know what I'm saying? So that was good. So let me hit the other two things. The other two things, like I said, one is love. The book is Love Language by Gary Chapman. I think it is really reading that book, Your Love Language. And then the other one is the flight assessment. Those are the three things. So I think the three things you need to have in your toolkit.
That wasn't love language, babe. That's his needs, her needs.
What?
You were talking about his needs, her needs.
No. I'm done with that. I'm saying.
You went to love language. Okay.
Originally, I was going to give you the 3 bullet points. I was going to break it down.
I got you.
So the three things that everybody needs in their toolkit prior to, if you're single, honest to God, if you're single, you need. It doesn't matter if you're single or married. The bottom line is there's 3 things. If you want to get married, you need these 3 things. If you are married, you need to get these 3 things and revisit them as a couple. Because there's a difference. We talked about this before. There's a difference between going through these books when you're dating and after marriage, after a baby, after you're empty nester. Every single sector, I believe, because
this is where the change comes in.
My wife was the gorilla in the marriage when we first got married. She was just swinging from the walls. In terms of after we had the child, things changed a little bit, and we're transparent about that.
Yeah,
it went back to that somewhere down the road. but the point is, it changes, right? So you need to revisit those conversations.
Absolutely.
So his needs, her needs. I can't. Who is it out there? I should know by heart.
We should
just Google his needs, her needs.
Yep.
The other one is the 5 love languages by
Mhm.
Gary Chapman,
Mhm.
because again, they're different from his needs. Is how you receive love.
Yeah, and another thing is that you can actually go online and type in the number 5 love languages quiz,
Mhm.
and it literally is a quick quiz that you can
But
take.
get the book. Don't take the shortcut.
Listen, I'm not saying take the shortcut. What I'm
Okay.
saying is
I'm
everybody
sorry, I shouldn't have said that.
may or may not get the book.
Okay.
And sometimes for you, it just is a quick, well, let me find out. There's also one for kids. There's also one. So you can take a quick quiz
Not
if you
his
just,
niece, her niece,
not for his niece, her
kids.
niece, but for the love language.
Okay.
So you can take a quick quiz just to get a glimpse of what your love language is. Still, you can get the book, right? But I'm just saying, listen, everybody is not a reader. The truth of the matter is,
Get the audiobook.
Everybody don't want to listen to audio. I'm just gonna help
You
you.
gotta make an investment.
You can make an investment, but let's just get some reality here. If you don't, then go take the quiz. Okay. There you go. You got to give options.
All right. And then the love language. So that's important. And it's important from the standpoint of I discovered that my wife has the touch thing is really strong. And it was becoming, and we're still working through.
You're still working through.
Oh, I'm still working through it. Did you
Yeah,
find it?
I'm good.
All right. Anyway, let's move on.
Carry on.
And it's on a good note. And then the flight assessment. The flight assessment. Listen, that to me, first of all, if you're single, you need to take it. Period. End of discussion. Point blank. No questions asked. Because if you are single, you need to take this flight assessment because it's going to help you to understand who you are and help you to better process who you are. Okay, help you better process who you are.
Mhm.
That is so key. And this is what I hear the Lord saying right now. 2 things with the flight assessment. If you are single, there's 2 categories. If you're single and you want to get more information or take the flight assessment, we want to give you a gift. Just put in there's typically a cost associated with the flight assessment, but just go with me on this. I want to be a blessing to a single person and a married couple.
Okay.
So if you are single, I had to get your buy-in through your eyes. If you are single and you want to be married, just type in hashtag flight assessment. Hashtag flight assessment, then put single next to it. Hashtag flight assessment. We're gonna do a drawing and we'll pick a winner from that. If you are a married couple and you want to take the flight assessment to understand authentically who you are in the relationship, same thing.
Yeah, we can, Tori.
Hashtag flight assessment, married. I'm gonna pick one from each category, but now here's the key. Now you got to get your spouse's buy-in. So if you're married, you got to talk to your spouse because both of you guys have to take it, not just one. So both of you guys have to take it. But we're going to get, and this is going to be a significant. This is a significant value that we're going to bless you guys with. We're going to bless you guys with that. It's a very significant value. We're not going to get into the cost because it's not about the cost tonight, but it does cost money to do this, but we're going to bless you guys with this tool. It's not a lot of money.
Okay,
but we're going to bless you guys with this, and we're going to do some coaching with you guys on that. All right, I'm done.
All right, I'm done too. Let me just read Jerry's last 2 takeaways.
That was a question one had too.
Yeah, we sure will. Jerry's takeaway was you can't make anyone change their ways, but you can offer clues that suggest the idea. No, and I know you're laughing, but I know, but the first part is that you cannot change a person. Yep. And if you think that you have the ability to change a person, you are sadly mistaken. A person has to want to change, and I don't care how much they love you and how much you love them. They have to want it for themselves. You cannot make them change. Okay. A couple should agree. Sure, you can. Absolutely.
The greatest advice that I got about that, which you just said, Jerry, the greatest advice I ever got was my pastor said, from this day forward, you only speak what you want to see. Because I cannot change my wife. I only can speak what I want to see. So if there's some areas that I need, you okay?
Mm-hmm. My eyes just are burning.
Some areas is something that I want to see or need for my marriage. I need to pray about that, speak that, and manifest that thing through because me trying to get her to do it by suggesting, because particularly with my wife, that don't work.
He's tried to suggest a lot of ways.
I tried that many times. Like, hey, I'm gonna start cooking. I'm gonna start do X, Y, Z. Because
he don't tell me. He just start cooking because somebody told him, "Well, just do what you want her to do."
Yeah, I got burned out about a week.
She'll see it, and then she'll start doing it. I was like, "Oh, what you cooking tonight?
What you cooking tonight?"
Listen.
Oh, you want to do the laundry? Okay, babe, my clothes over there.
I put my whites over there.
That don't work for my wife
at all.
I
ain't the one. Try something else. You better just pray. Go to the Father.
What you getting this for?
It's dead as usual. All right. Jerry Jones said, I found that a couple should agree in 4 areas in a relationship: religion, money, kids, and sex.
Before marriage, though.
Yeah, before marriage.
You
should agree on those.
And that's really good,
and that's really, really good. And let me say this. And sometimes before you get married, if you don't have kids together, if you ain't never spent your money together, you have some ideals about what you guys are going to agree on. And then when you actually get into that situation, sometimes your ideals and what you thought were going to happen or what you thought you agreed on may change.
We always go too out. Like, we never intend to go this long.
Yeah.
But I got a question for that. Do you think, like, we're actually working with a financial coach?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that a couple should go through, specifically talk to a financial advisor and a financial coach prior to marriage? I don't mean just in a session. So somebody who's special, like we have.
Yeah, I would suggest it. Honestly, I would suggest it. I think that it would be good. I think that if you can find somebody who it's not, and I'm not talking about somebody who is a 401k specialist. No, I'm talking about a real counselor, somebody who's teaching foundational principles.
Help your mindset.
Help your mindset. Yeah. Because I know that one of the things that we talked about was when we sat down, we do. One of the first questions that we were asked was, so what did you learn about money growing up?
Ooh. When she got
and when
crying,
we start, and when I got through, we're like, I just thought
that one question, like, yeah,
literally, because it's the stuff you don't think about. So you think about where you are today, and you think about your life as a single person and how you spent your life as a single person, your money and things of that nature. But then now it's like we're coming together. So what are your thoughts about money? And because those are again, sometimes you need somebody to help you start a conversation, because we be thinking that we be having real good conversations about stuff.
We knew we couldn't have conversations without third party
after we got married, but before we got married, we thought we were having great conversation. We really did. We thought we were having great conversation before we got married, and then we got married, and we was like, "What did we talk about?" Like, we thought we talked about this, and we thought we covered this, and then you like, "Wait a minute, what's going on?" You scratching your head. So absolutely, I do believe that. All right, we got you both. I got you, Patricia and Robin, for the flight assessment. We'll put you both into the drawing. Yes, we can post all of the information. Tori, she asked if we can post the books and the assessments that we're speaking of.
As soon as we get done.
We sure will. Jamel asked a question about why is the 7 first years of marriage so important. Jamel, I don't know, because I think the first day is important. I know that there's possibly a theory out there somewhere about the first 7 years of marriage.
Yeah, I was going to talk. Yeah, I don't know, man.
I don't really know. I haven't done enough research on that. I feel like, listen, when you get married.
I think we got to change that paradigm. It's like the terrible twos.
Right.
Say, we got to change that paradigm.
Like when you get married, you trying to make it through the first 7 years, waiting to see if it's going to drop.
Yeah, you go into it thinking that, the first 7 is going to be tough, because we've been told that. I think we have to change that paradigm.
And the first 7 years ain't got nothing to do with nothing. Because we know people who have been married past 7 years who got divorced. So it don't, just because you make it past the first
30 years, they didn't get divorced.
Listen, just because you make it past the first 7 years doesn't mean that you're gonna make it.
But our first few years were kind of tough.
Tough.
Let's be real about it.
But they was
we
tough.
Get number 16 and
Shabba.
Okay, bye.
Okay, keep on praying. Shabba. All right, y'all, hit the music.
We gotta pray first.
I'm gonna pray while the music playing.
You gonna pray while that music is playing?
Why don't you pray tonight?
No, that's your job. Father, we thank you for this night, God. We thank you for all that you have done. We thank you for this great show. God, I pray for all those individuals who have come on the show tonight. God, I pray that all of the seed of time that they've sown into our lives to be here, because they could be doing anything else with their time on this Sunday evening. So we thank you, Father. We pray that harvest and restoration come to them. Well, Father, we thank you and pray for all those who are looking to get married, every single young lady, every single man who has a desire and a heart to be married, who wants to be in a relationship to give of their best. I pray, Father God, that the perfect, the God ordained spouse come their way, Father. I pray, God, that no matter what it may look like and or feel like for them, God, their happiness is theirs, God. I pray, God, that they begin to understand who they are and who they authentically are to themselves, God, that they will understand their purpose here on this earth. They will understand why you created them to be here on this earth, God. Even in the context of marriage, God, that you will give them clear, unfiltered wisdom on who they are within the relationship, God. So we thank you for this now, God. I pray for every marriage, God, under the sound of my voice. Those who watching the replay all over the world, I pray for their marriage today, God, that they will be blessed. Their marriage will, God, go to the next level, God. They will communicate on a level that they've never communicated before, Father. That every sector of their life, God, will be blessed, God. God, their finances will be blessed, God. Their intimacy, their relationship will be blessed, God. Their communication will be blessed, God. Their parenting will be blessed, God. I pray, Father God, that people watching this show, God, will not come on to those will not just come on to laugh and to comment, God, but they will receive a word from you, God. They will receive something from you, God, to take their life and their marriage and their relationship to the next level. Now, I pray for this now in Jesus' name. We decree and declare that this will be the best week of their lives so far. In Jesus' name, we pray. Amen.
Amen. All right, y'all. We'll see y'all next week at 8 p.m. We'll have another topic, probably something from one of these conversations that we done had today.
Who knows?
But we'll have a great topic for you guys next week. Thank y'all for bearing with us. Make sure you bring your popcorn next week because we don't know what's going to happen.
Whew, we got something to talk about tonight. Remember, if you, I'm just playing. Remember, if you guys want to, we want to bless you guys with the flight assessment, a single person and a married couple. We will post all of the resources. As soon as we get done, we will post the resources. Yep. And if you do not win the free assessment and coaching, it's allowed to be so I can't okay, sorry. If you do not receive as a winner of the free assessment and coaching, DM us if you're interested, and we'll get you. We'll work with you on that because we want to be a blessing to everyone who wants to take it. So if you don't win it, just reach out to us and we'll pray about what to do. But we'll come with some type of special offer.
Yeah, maybe a CWTG special offer.
Yeah, we'll come up with a special offer.
Yeah,
I got to win it by the boss. All right, guys.
That's me.
Yep, that's her. All right, guys. Thank y'all so very much. We appreciate you. God bless you. And by all means, let the conversation keep going throughout the week. If you have any questions, comments, please put them up on this type of the comments. All right. I think that's it.
Yep.
All right. I wasn't ready for the closeout tonight, was it? All right, here we go. All right, peace. See y'all. What? Oh, my bad. What?
Ghost is out.
All right, 1, 2, 3. Ghost is out.